What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we're taking a look at something quite special because Fiona and Cake is finishing its first season this Thursday. So I wanted to check out all the other little special events Adventure Time has done in the past before I watch this one. So I am taking a look at Stakes and then Distant Lands, and then I think I am done for Adventure Time. But yeah, let's get into it. We're taking a look at Stakes, which was a 2016 little mini-series during Adventure Time when it started to get more linear and story-based rather than just one-off episodic adventures with Finn and Jake. So let's get into it. And it is all about one of my favourite characters, Marceline. If you're a fan of the channel for a while, you'll know that I've been a fan of Adventure Time. I've had Finn's sword, I've had some Adventure Time figures, I've had the LEGO Dimensions packs, and now we're going to be taking a look at the series. So Stakes is an American animated television miniseries comprising of 8 episodes from the television series Adventure Time, and it aired during 2016. And here is the main villains of the series, and it starts off with Marceline getting stuck outside in the daytime and having to find her way to get back to Bonnibel's house, Princess Bubblegum, whatever you want to call her, because she's a vampire and she doesn't, she can't go in the sun. So she ends up going to Bonnibel for help, asking her if she can be a human instead of a vampire. So Princess Bubblegum uses her machine to suck all the vampire stuff out of her. And then we get a flashback to the past of Marceline's adventure after Simon left her, Simon being Ice King, leaving her in this apocalyptic wasteland for her to travel around on her own. He promised to send someone to look after her, but that person never arrives. So she starts killing vampires to protect the humans, because that's the only thing that makes her happy, because she believes she's protecting Simon being another human. And she starts sucking up all these vampires and all their powers, so she becomes able to float, turn invisible, transform, and internally gets bitten by the last one as she kills him, so she gets the power to be a vampire, basically. Fast forwarding to the future now, all the vampire gunk that was sucked out of her ended up in a bucket, and that merged into one vampire creature, sucking the blood of some farm animals, and then it's got enough strength to separate and be the 5 vampires once more. So then each episode after that is them going after another vampire. So the first one is a small one that levitates. He's quite stupid, gets killed pretty much instantly. Second one is the one which can mind control you with her special eyes and turn invisible, and she has the same voice actor as Poison Ivy from the Harley Quinn show. She gets Ice King, who she thinks she's manipulating and mind controlling, but he just loves girls, and he's that kind of creep. So he did anything he asked, because Ice King is simp. And Marceline and Finn save him and kill that vampire. Marceline then gets his powers. The next one is the one that is an old-fashioned vampire, and he makes it clear that he's old-fashioned, and he can't enter the house without being invited in. So pretty much they spent all episode struggling to fight him as he's shape-shifting, but Candy King and I forgot his name, but it's a little cookie guy who is the same voice actor as Sumo from Clarence, and he pushes him into the house, which is just Jake in the form of a house, and it kills him. He poofs away. Moving on to the next one is one that they were tracking initially, which is pretty much invincible and doesn't die. It can heal and regenerate so quickly. And Finn and Jake locate it, run it back to Princess Bubblegum's lab, where she is trying to make an antidote for Marceline's poison when she was stung by the last vampire's scorpion tail. And Peppermint Butler ends up killing that one as well. And then the last one is the Vampire King, who doesn't want to be a vampire anymore, so they agree to turn him back into a human, or a lion, which is what he is, after Finn, Jake, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline fight him for a solid 10 minutes before actually hearing him out, and he does his best not to fight back. He's just dodging, pushing them out the way, and doing pretty much the basic self-defense. Then, obviously, his powers get put in a bucket. That bucket then tips over, and all the vampire essence goes everywhere, and they all have to fight it. Marceline's given up on fighting. Marceline is tired. She doesn't want to be that hero anymore. But Ice King feels lonely. He feels left out of the battle. Comes over, has a nice little chat with Marceline, and then they go on to fight again. Marceline starts fighting the big cloud monster, and her heart eats up all the vampire stuff, and before she can eat it all, the vampire bites her neck and makes her a vampire again. And she's happy being a vampire, and she's going to try out being a vampire again because she didn't like being immortal or being mortal because it was scary. So that's pretty much the whole concept, the whole plot line of the show. But it is nice, after Adventure Time ending 5 years ago, it is really nice getting to watch them all again, because I never actually watched the specials. I just watched the main show. I didn't think the specials were that important. And they were only on for a limited time whilst Cartoon Network were having these little special promotion things. So I actually missed out on it. But I now found out a way to watch it again, and I've watched it, and I think they are so good, and they are such worth a watch. You get to find out more about Marceline's past, and why she became a vampire, how she became a vampire, and how she got these powers. It develops their relationship with PB, because them two are going out now, and you see that throughout the rest of the show. Them two getting closer, started off as enemies, not liking each other, then becoming friends, then dating and going out. And I like that. I ship them together. I think they're cute together. It's like the opposites. We have the free-spirited gothic Marceline, and then the high princess scientist of Princess Bubblegum. Opposites attract, and I really like them getting together. I think it's a lot better than Princess Bubblegum and Finn, if I'm being honest. However, I do feel sorry for Finn not having a girlfriend by the end of the series, after he's been chasing Flame Princess Bubblegum, throughout the entire series. But then we also have Jake here, who's literally scared of vampires, and that comes back for this short episode after he got over his fear when they befriended Marceline. But obviously, the fear's back with new vampires which are evil and want to kill him, which is understandable. Fern also decides not to make an appearance when he can make an appearance. He chooses not to help, though, and just leaves Finn stranded when he needs him most to fight these vampires. The animation style, again, is the basic Adventure Time art style. I think it's really good. It's nothing excellent, it's not groundbreaking, but it's still a nice animation style. It's easy on the eyes with these rounded shapes, very cartoony, and you know it's an Adventure Time style show when you see stuff. It's just such an iconic art style, and I really like it. It's very simple, very blocky, and there is some really good shots like this one here. I think this is an excellent shot and proves how far this animation style can go, but I don't want it to look like this all the time. I'm happy with just the simple block colors, minimal shading and stuff like that. It's something simplistic about it, just seems so good and so perfect. But the plot is very simple. It's a basic plot where you have to go and kill so many people and stop the evil. It's like a Hunter plot. I've seen it before in other shows. I can't pinpoint where I've seen it before, but I have seen it before, and when watching this it seemed very familiar. Even though I haven't watched this series before, it just seemed very familiar, and I sort of knew certain plot points about it, and I knew where it was going as soon as the third episode hit. I'm going to be like, right, each one of these is going to die over the next few episodes, and there's going to be an episode on each. I do really like the voice acting. The voice actors are fucking incredible in this. They go with Finn constantly screaming and shouting and being a hero, positive, optimistic boy that he always is. But he does also have his serious moments when he's talking to Jake, making sure he's okay, making sure that he's not hurt, making sure that he's not scared and trying to calm him down. We have Jake screaming, being scared, which he never usually is. But we also have his comedic timing, which is honestly on point. Most of these jokes did make me laugh. Most of these jokes normally make me laugh. And Adventure Time is such a good show. I just love all the adventure. I love the world. I love the story that they started building around the world as well. So getting to know more about that is just perfect. But Marceline's voice and Princess Bubblegum's voice, again, on point with all the screaming, shouting, fighting, scientific, serious moments when it needs to be, but also being able to goof off and sort of, be silly a little bit. Adventure Time has its serious moments, and I appreciate how they slow down the comedy and take time to appreciate the serious moments. But sometimes when checking up on characters like Jake, he can break the sort of seriousness with a little goofy joke or a little fart or a toot or a burp, which, to be fair, there was a lot of gross out here with Jake and Finn constantly burping, constantly farting, and it did drag you out a little bit because it's like, all right, 1 or 2 fart jokes, pretty funny, but you don't need to constantly keep bringing the fart jokes and the burp jokes up, because I have one of these episodes, there's only 8 episodes and they're all 11 minutes long, but one of these episodes had Jake constantly bringing up the burp joke, and it just wasn't funny. Him being scared of vampires and all the situations you can pull from that, I think they got the most out of that they could throughout the 8 episodes, and if it did go on for any longer or they did try and do more with it, it would have ruined it a little bit, because I didn't want them to milk him being scared, but I think they did it sort of quite nicely, quite balanced, where we had Finn not being scared and being the confident one, and Jake being the scared one. We also had some pretty cool moments with Jake shapeshifting and him being some quite unique things. He turned into a weird horse shape. He turned his hands into stakes, which I don't think should work, if I'm going to be honest with you, because it has to be a wooden stake. So Jake turning his hand into the shape of a stake shouldn't really kill anything. We also had LSP show up for one of these episodes, Lumpy Space Princess. She showed up for the Let Me In episode, or Can I Come In episode, and they pretty much put a load of stakes in her and pushed her, and she was like a swinging wrecking ball, or spiky wrecking ball, which I thought was quite creative and a quite good use of her character, and to get someone else in here, because it's always nice to see familiar faces. Adventure Time is such a wide variety of characters, a wide array of characters, so it's nice to see some of them popping up here and there. Obviously, some characters are more important than others, more lore implemented, and Lumpy Space Princess is always one of those characters who's quite funny and nice to see on screen. We also have the amazing Adventure Time language with "Oh my glob," that's mathematical, math, just using all these words to replace like slang, because obviously it's a whole different world and they've like evolved differently. So it's nice to hear how their slang and sort of their lingo has evolved differently as well. That's always been something that I've enjoyed with Adventure Time, and when I used to watch Adventure Time, I used to also use that type of lingo back in year 4 and 5 and 6 when I was truly into Adventure Time. That is school years, which is pretty odd in the UK, but whatever. That's when I use the Adventure Time lingo the most, saying mathematical, that's so math, and just stuff like that, going, "Oh my glob," just stuff like that, just putting it into the everyday lingo. And it's so good to go back to a series like this, especially with a reboot coming soon, because it just gets the nostalgia going, gets you familiar with the series again after not seeing it for so long, and it also shows you what Adventure Time used to be before you watch the new thing, to see if they're going to butcher it or if they stayed honest to the normal material, staying honest to the core material that Adventure Time once was, instead of what they did with Futurama and completely changing it, completely ruining it with the new thing. So I have high hopes for Fiona and Cake. I hope it's good. I can't wait to watch it when it comes out. And there will be a film review on it on Thursday, so do be expecting that as a video on Thursday. But Adventure Time stakes, I don't think it's the best Adventure Time episodes out there. I don't think it's the best sort of episodes of Adventure Time. I think there is better episodes out there, but for a nice little short series, I did like it, and it focused on one of my favourite characters, and it gave me some lore, and everything about it was just okay and decent, so I am going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's good, it's very good, but it's not perfect. and I think it was quite short, and I would have liked it to go on a little bit longer, maybe expand upon it a bit more, maybe give it 12 episodes. However, I don't know how much more they could have done with the concept. I think they got as much as they could out of it. So, with it being 8 episodes, it did leave me wanting more, but that's just the Adventure Time feel. So, I do think it deserves a 7. I don't think I can give it any higher. I don't think I can justify it. As much as I love Adventure Time, I can't justify it. So, other than that, hope you enjoyed it, and bye-bye.